Good morning. I'm Cynthia Tolles, President of the Gadsden City Council, and we're conducting a work session via teleconference. This meeting is being broadcast on Facebook Live and will be available later on Channel 99 AT&T Uverse and the City of Gadsden YouTube. As a reminder, work sessions give the council an opportunity to review items on today's agenda, as well as any ordinances and resolutions that have been routed for the council's consideration. And these meetings are informal and no official action is taken. At 11 o'clock, our meeting will be up. We'll have an update from the EMA director and the fire chief. And just as we get started, I would just like for us to remember Councilman Reed and the loss of his wife, Barbara. We're thinking about him and praying for he and his family, his two sons. And we just know that as time go by, he will be taken care of. But let's remember him in our thoughts and in our prayers as we conduct this meeting and as we continue on our day to remember the Reed family. Our item agenda for today, item 9, we have 7 items of unfinished business. And item 9A is assessing a demolition on lien on property at 1107 Hurst Street in District 3. And we have a recommendation from the building official to proceed with the lien, with assessing the lien. We can ask Mr. Harbison after I go through the agenda if you want to have anything to ask him concerning that particular property. Items B through E are resolution assessing grass liens that have been tabled for 1 year on July the 28th, 2020 to allow the owners opportunities to make payments. 9B is 991 Brown Circle in District 2. No payment was made and we have a recommendation to proceed with assessing the lien. Number 9C is 1501 Alabama Avenue in District 3. The owner made 1 payment. So we have a substitute resolution with the reduced amount and a recommendation to proceed with assessing the lien. 9D is 1010 Penny Street in District 3. The owner made 3 payments. So we have a substitute resolution with the reduced amount and a recommendation to proceed with assessing the lien. Number 9E is 322 South 3rd Street in District 4. No council action is necessary because the owner paid the amount in full. 9F is an ordinance conveying property at 563 Lime Street to Stephen Isom, which was presented for first reading last week. Item 9G is a resolution to not grant incentives for Pilgrim Pride Industrial Development, which was continued for an indefinite period on February the 2nd. Items 10 and 11 are public hearings concerning rezoning for 107 and 109 Virgin Street, 1627 Gadsden Avenue. Item number 12 is a resolution appointing and reappointing members to the Gadsden Airport. Jonathan Wilth is being reappointed and Kenneth P. Robinson is being appointed to replace Harry McClendon. Are there any questions or comments for members concerning today's agenda? Did anyone, Councilman Worthy, did you want to have a question or have Brian to elaborate on 1107 Hurst Street in your district?
Yes, he can. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Is he here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, typically what we do after the demolition has been completed is go ahead and go through the billing process, assess the amount as a lien. Now, the new owner, and there are a couple, 3 different people who actually have or had a recent interest in this property. Once the lien is assessed, it's not added to the tax bill, which means they'll continue to pay the property taxes. And at some point, if they want to clear up the title and clear up any liens, including this one, at that point, they can make an offer to the city and negotiate with the city through you as their council representative for instance, a lesser amount, then, you know, the council could, review that request and pass a resolution accepting the lesser amount. They're still going to maintain ownership of the property. There will be a demolition lien, assessed against the property because demolition was completed. And, I just feel like that's the precedent that, was set, you know, many years ago. ABA is the one that controls the adding of the demolition lien to the tax bill, and she's not doing that because that creates a situation down the road where you have a neighbor that wants to acquire the property next door. If it's got a you know, several $1,000 demolition lien, they're just going to walk away from it. So we want to give them the opportunity.
You're going
to
out
with the
Mr.
council for a lesser amount, if that clears it up.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions concerning the agenda for today? Okay, we'll move to our pre-council file folder. And we have, these are items that have been routed to the mayor and forward to the council. The first item is a resolution authorizing a change order number 1 with Bedwell and Horton Excavation. And I'll call on Heath Williamson, the city engineer, to explain.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so this is going back to our Alabama City Center parking lot project. It's been going on for a little while. Got slowed through some of the pandemic process there, but this would be the final reconciliation change order where you've seen in the past, we add up all the additions and deletions and come up with the amount that you see, $14,170.06. For a total, new total for the project at $623,550.49. This one was bid and awarded at, of course, that difference, $609,380.43. So mainly several things. I'd say the biggest cost there was a underground power line. We had to work around. We redesigned where we could to avoid it. Redid some of the storm sewer once we located it during construction, and then a section we had to relocate next to the building that we could not avoid. So resulting in this amount, $14,170.06. Everything else is done. We've accepted it. The facility is now using that parking lot and has been for just a little while, about a month and a half.
Any questions for Mr. Williamson? Okay, our next item is a resolution authorizing community policing agreement with the Greater Housing Authority, and this continues the program for an additional year for 4 officers within the 7 public housing facilities. I think this is something that we do yearly, but this is a agreement that we've had for a while with the Housing Authority and with the police department. Any questions? All right, our next item is a resolution amending resolution number R403-04 regarding the pay plan. And I'm going to ask Lisa Ross, the finance director, to talk about this resolution.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we have only met with 3 of you at this time for the general fund budget. We'll be meeting with the other ones today. But this is something that we're needing in advance of the budget amendment. This is a resolution to change the pay plan. And what we have done is we have taken off 5 steps on the end, and we have added 3 steps to the top. There's a twofold purpose for this. First of all, the starting pay, as we all know, is low. And so at the present time, the starting pay for a full-time employee in the lowest paying position is $8.98. And so we're increasing that starting pay to $10.04. So there were 29 employees, not 29, 25. There were 25 employees that were making under $10.04 an hour that will have to be adjusted on the new pay plan. So this puts everybody making at least 10.04. The second objection was we have had 31 full-time employees that have been topped out on the pay plan for at least the last 2 years. So therefore, they're not have not been entitled to raises. There are raises in this budget this year. And so by adding the 3 steps on the end, this allows all full-time city employees to be eligible for a raise. So twofold purpose. So what you have in front of you is the resolution to change the pay plan. And what it basically does is now instead of having 50 steps, we now will have 48 steps. And that's basically the only change to the resolution. Any questions? Okay, thank you. And Dr. Toll?
Okay.
Dr. Toll?
Yes,
I would like to have that today
yes.
if possible. Because it affects our general fund budget.
All right. Any discussions?
I don't like the fact that we're asking for it today, but I'm sure I'll lose that argument. But that's the only thing I have to say. Otherwise, I'm fine with it.
And I do apologize for that. It's a timing issue, I understand. But you've got to remember this one, you got to remember the budget, the actual budget ordinance requires a 3-week period of time. And I'm needing this one approved before that process starts.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know. I just, in general, sometimes feel like this whole budget process kind of gets ramrodded down our throat a little bit. I've seen other communities that spend months and months in advance with their city council holding public discussion periods amongst each other about how the budget should be allocated. It seems like every year it's, hey, I got to meet with all y'all within a 7-day period and we've got to get all this stuff added into the budget right before it gets passed. And it just doesn't make me feel good in my gut. That's the only reason I'm saying something. I'm not implying any impropriety. I think it could work a little more efficiently and the council could play a little more of a role in it. That's the only thing I was saying.
Hey, Lisa.
I could respond, but I'm not going to.
I think it'd be best that you did.
Lisa,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
can you tell me what, with this raise?
Councilman Cannon.
Can you tell me, Lisa, what the starting salary for a fireman will be in this budget, and also an equipment operator 1 in public works, please?
Yes, sir, I can. Can we talk about that in your meeting today? I don't mind. The starting pay for employees have not changed except for those 25 employees that were making less than $10.04 an hour. So the fireman's starting pay would not have changed. They make more than that. And then also equipment operator, you said 1?
Uh-huh. That's the loader truck, guys.
Yes,
Well, it's
sir.
probably equipment operator 2.
Okay, hang on a sec. I do have it. Let me find it in my notes. I know some of those, Johnny, are some of the guys that, Kerry, you got the starting pay for equipment operators?
The loader trucks are EO2, but we just pay them equipment operator 1, if I'm not mistaken.
We have all of that in notes somewhere. You caught me off guard. Oh, here it is. Yes, so the semi-skilled are the ones that were less than the 10.04. So your semi-skilled will now be 10.04. That's be the starting pay. The equipment 1s will be 10.29 and equipment 2s will be 10.55. Now that's starting pay, but most of those employees we have currently make more than that.
Currently more than the $10,
Yes.
10.04. Do we have any, has anybody ever did any comparison with the Tala and Rainbow City and Southside? They're starting to pay on equipment operator ones or anything, loader truck drivers and firemen and stuff. Has that ever been done?
Not to my knowledge, no, sir. It's not
'Cause I've been
comparable.
getting a lot of calls.
It's not a comparable city. They have how many employees compared to the city of Gadsden that has almost 600?
I know that I've been getting a lot of calls from the public works guys and saying that Rainbow City, Southside, and all those pay more starting than we do. And I just wanted to find out if that was the case. I didn't know. I thought you might know.
No, sir, I do not. I'm sorry. I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions to Lisa?
Yeah, I have one. I
Yes,
have one, Madam President. She said it
Yes.
won't affect the firefighter starting pay. Did you say it won't change, or will it change and go up in this budget?
So, not concerning what we're talking about right now. Raises, of course, will change that. But what we're talking about now is the pay plan. This is changing the pay plan to take off 5 steps and to add 3 steps. And when you take off 5 steps, it moves all of those people that were making less than 10.04 up to that position. And that was only 25 people. So those 25 people were automatically adjusted on the pay plan to make up for that difference in their pay. So they were making somewhere between $8.98 and 10.0 whatever the number was, 10.04. And now all of those 25 people are making at least 10.04.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so just to boil it
so
down,
everybody understand, we're voting on a pay plan change, not the budget.
yeah, or just the wage scale. I mean, this only addresses the wage scale.
Yes. Yeah, doesn't have anything to do with it has to do with the budget, but we're not voting on the budget as per se.
Yeah, yes, Madam President, I understand that. But when she said it wouldn't affect the firefighter starting pay, that's what I was
Starting
concerned
pay,
with.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand
Right.
what she's saying and
Yeah.
all, but I have my meeting today, so I'll
Yeah.
see the rest of it.
Yes. Okay, our last ordinance is establishing the budget for the American Rescue Plan. Again, Ms. Rosso, are you on to discuss that?
Yes, ma'am, I am. So we have already met with you all concerning the American Rescue Plan, and this is the budget that you have already saw. And actually, all this does is it establishes Fund 002. 001 is our general fund, and so 002 will be the American Rescue Plan. We're keeping it totally separated. We have to do that for accounting reasons. And basically what this does is it puts into this budget $24,042,737. I have not asked for expense lines to be increased at this point. We will add those expense lines as they occur. But there again, all of you do have in your hand the actual budget, preliminary budget for the ARP funds. So I won't not go over that again. This is just to establish the fund and to put that 24 million into the fund.
Any questions on that? Any more questions?
Yes, on that vaccination guest, and how are we doing on the 300,000 we put in there? Is that gonna be enough? Or
Yes, sir.
you think, or how's that gonna run?
Yes, sir, I think it will be. As of, we're doing the vaccination incentive payouts on Wednesdays and Fridays from 11 to 4. As of last Friday, we had given out $100 to 319 citizens. So 319, or $31,900 has been paid out. I do think that it will be enough, because we're just now getting to the point where you have a lot of people that are just now qualifying for their second shot. Because remember, the program to qualify, you had to get both shots after July the 20th. So a lot of people, you know, are just now getting to the point of 4 weeks where they can get the second shot. So I think our numbers are going to pick up a lot, especially in September. But I do think that that amount will be sufficient.
Are there any chance we can extend this program if we have money left over to go ahead and try to spend all that money and get more people vaccinated?
That is definitely a consideration. Yes.
Because I would hate to stop it and then, you know, some more people decided to do it and we had some money, a bunch of money left over for that, and we didn't, you know, we didn't use it for that myself now.
I do think that we could. The only
I want to
thing,
see everybody vaccinated that wants to be vaccinated.
yes, sir, and I agree. The only thing is that, you know, we have said that we would do the draws for the $5,000 after the end date, which is October the 16th. And we've been telling people that, you know, we've been encouraging people to let them know the more people that get vaccinated and qualify for this program, the more draws there will be. Because there's 2 $5,000 draws for every 500 people. So at this point, we're not even to 2 draws yet because we haven't hit our 500 number. So and remember, our target number was 2,500 people. So that's something that we can look at as we get further into the program and closer to that October date.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question on that, Madam President. And I know because I've been
Go
getting
ahead.
I've been getting calls, Lisa, from people that already had 1 shot and they got a 1 shot after this started, and they was wondering about why they couldn't get the at least $50, you know, because the way they look at it is $50 a shot. And I told them I don't think that was possible, but I said I would ask.
And yes, sir, I have gotten those same calls as well. Believe you me, got one yesterday. And we've told everybody the same thing. The program, this is federal money. The program did not start until July the 20th. That's the date that you as council members approved the program and approved the money to be used for that. And so I think we have to stick to that. You have to have after July the 20th. And I understand what they're saying, but there again, the money, you know, the money had not been allocated at that point, nor was the program effective until that date. So I think we've got to stick with that. I just don't feel like we can make an exception to that.
Okay.
Any other questions? I have a commentary on executive sessions that I'd like to sort of input here. Well, first of all, while we're on virtual, it's not difficult, but we need to know, and usually we kind of need to know ahead of time, and that way Mr. Rogers can put us in another meeting room. But what we need to get back to is the reasons why we go into executive sessions. And if you would go to section 3625A-7B in the Code of Alabama, there are basically 7 reasons that we go into executive session. The good name and character of a person, that's 1. Number 2 is the discipline or dismissal under certain circumstances. The 3rd reason is certain discussions with legal counsel. The fourth reason is security issues. The fifth reason is undercover law enforcement. You have the sixth reason is a preliminary real estate discussion. And number 7 is certain economic development discussions. It also has in this form that I got, I said 7 reasons, but there seems to be 9. The other one is certain labor negotiation and then quasi-judicial proceedings. So what we have to do, and it also says that we need to, according to this information that I got from the Alabama League, is that we're really supposed to put in writing, and we're also supposed to state why we're going in executive session. So I just wanted us to be clear on why we go in executive session and give the reasons why we go in executive sessions, and but let the legal department and the clerk know the reasons that we don't have to tell them specifically, but it has to be one of these 9 reasons that we go into executive session. But if we have to go in executive session during this period right now, we need to know so that Rogers can put us in another meeting room that would not be exposing it to the general public. Any comments or additions to that? Okay. Well, we'll take this is the end of our pre-council. We'll take a short break and come back at 11 o'clock where we'll start our council meeting. So we'll see you all at 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Cynthia Tolles, President of the Gadsden City Council. We're meeting today virtual or by teleconference. Today's council meeting is being broadcast on Facebook Live and also can be viewed later on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T Uverse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. We call on the chair, Ivor Clark, for the roll call.
Councilwoman Tolles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Councilman Worthy.
Here.
Councilman Back.
Here.
Councilman Wilson. Sorry.
Here and here.
Councilman Cannon.
Here.
Councilman Reed is absent today. We do have a quorum present and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Back to lead our invocation today.
Thank you, and let us pray. Most gracious and heavenly Father, we come to you today with heavy hearts for so many reasons. Father, the toll that the pandemic has taken on not only our nation but our city is sometimes just too heavy. I'd like to remember in prayer our first responders, our healthcare workers that are working tirelessly in our 2 hospitals, our students and teachers that are back now in school. Father, we just ask for strength and courage for those that need it and for protection for all. Also like to pray for our nation as we've recently lost service members in Afghanistan, and pray for their families, those that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our nation, for the freedoms that we so enjoy. We pray that their families can be comforted in only a way that you can provide. Father, for our state and for our city, for the many deaths and the sickness, and for the families that are struggling right now, Father, we reach out to you and we ask for strength to get through these days. We also want to remember especially Barbara Reed, who has gone to heaven, Father, just recently, and other city employees that have also passed away, and just countless local people that have succumbed to COVID. Father, we just pray for their families. Pray for strength to get through these days, God, and we just ask you to put your loving arms around us and to give this council and this administration wisdom and knowledge, and that may our thoughts and decisions be pleasing unto you. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance sitting. Let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag,
of the United
United
States of
States of
America
America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and justice
for all.
for all. I'd like to begin today's meeting with an update from the MEA, the Emergency Management Director, Ms. Gaither. Will it be Mr. Josh or Ms. Gaither?
Josh Tanner.
All right, we'll have it from Josh. Mr. Josh.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're going to start with some positive news. The Vaccinate Gadsden program continues to do very well. There have been 179 vaccinations administered over the last week. That brings our running total up over the 1,000 mark. We currently stand at 1,063. Publix has now been added as a partner to participate in the program as well. CVS is not a partner. I know we've had several people that have gone to CVS and thought that they were a participating partner and then tried to get the voucher and paperwork after the fact. We need to really encourage all the citizens to make sure that the pharmacy that they're using is one of the participating pharmacies. You can find that on the City of Gadsden website, as well as information that we've been pushing out through social media. COVID numbers continue to rise. We'll give you the long and the short of it. Over the last 7 days, we've added 348 cases. That averages out to somewhere around 49, 50 cases per day. The Delta variant is the most common cause of these cases at 97%. Infection rate currently stands at 1.05. Remember, anything greater than 1 is significant because that means that it is an active infection that's taking place. Our positivity rate stands at 23.8%. The number of citizens in Etowah County who have at least received their first vaccination is 39.8%. Both hospitals are at or above capacity as far as ICU goes. Between the two hospitals in town, there's currently 22 individuals who are in intensive care with COVID. Both hospitals together have a cumulative rate, 83 patients as of 10:15 or so this morning, 83 patients for both hospitals that have positive COVID. The one that we're trying to make headway with Vaccinate Gadsden with to get everybody fully vaccinated, that number currently stands at 29.7%. And then we have 2 schools that have given us updates and reported on our weekly call last week the number of cases that they have had. The Gadsden City Schools reported 37 students, as well as a few faculty. And the Etowah County Board of Education, they report 88 positive cases that are students and 20 or so that are faculty or staff. Now, the one caveat that Dr. Cosby mentioned with that was that most of those haven't been to school yet. The infection started right as school was about to start, and so they have not even been in the school building. So, those numbers may be a little bit misleading because they may be a little bit high based on the information that they provided with us. And then the last thing that we wanted to remind everybody is just to make sure whenever they go before they go to the pharmacy to get immunization, just make sure that is a participating pharmacy, because it's going to save you a lot of headache later when you realize that you can't get a voucher, because as we all know, that's one of the things that you have to receive this incentive that's being given. So with that, myself or Ms. Gaither will be here to answer any questions you might have.
I have
Councilman
one.
Worthy.
Hey, Josh, if you would double check that. I think that was the Gadsden City School Systems that said that they had 88 and 22 of the students before the school started. You on mute.
Yes, sir, I will. I'll verify that for you and make sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments concerning the EMA report?
And
Councilman Williams?
Josh, yeah, just, I'm asking for your opinion. So, I want to preface my question with that, but any concern on your end that our sporting events might be serving to propagate some of the spread?
Well, as I said last night on the weekly report that we give on the radio, anytime you get congregate folks together, whether it's indoors or outdoors, I mean, everything is going to pose a risk. Outdoor, of course, is going to be less of a risk than indoors. We're just really trying to hammer home the point of trying to socially distance as best as you can. I love football just as much as everybody else does, but we really want everybody to be safe in doing it, because if we don't make the right choices, we don't make the right decisions, we're going to find ourselves not only with a shortened football season, but likely we're going to see a spike and increase in cases. So we've been trying to mitigate that as best we can through speaking with the school superintendents. We've been in contact with them on a weekly basis, and even more than that. So even though it is outdoors, I personally I wear my mask every time I go out, just because you never know who's been exposed, who hasn't, and who's been vaccinated and who hasn't. So it's certainly a concern, yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we have a report from our fire chief.
Good morning, council. This is Chief Reed. I have with me my EMS chief, Jason Bush. We have a higher number of employees out this week. We had 2 come back with COVID that have came back to work, but I have 3 more that have went out with COVID. I have another one testing. Have 3 employees in quarantine from a exposure at work currently. In the past 5.5 weeks, we have run a total of 103 patients under investigation, and a good many of those did come back positive. So we are seeing that increased rate in the field.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions for the chief?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Yes. Okay, we'll move on to our agenda. Our first item is I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and city council meeting that was held August the 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilwoman Toles,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Worthy,
Yes.
Back,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
and Cannon.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work. The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of August the 20th through the 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilman Cannon,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
Back,
Yes.
Worthy,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
and Tolles.
Yes.
Motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Is there a proclamation? I don't think so. Unfinished business. We have the first item is a resolution assessing nuisance abatement liens against property for demolition for $2,441.40 on property at 1107 Hurst Street in District 3. This is FNA NP LLC. Possible right of redemption to the estate of Henrietta Mall and the Pentecostal Temple COGIC being the last known owners. And this resolution was tabled for 60 days on June the 29th. The building official has recommended moving forward with the assessing the lien. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilwoman Tolles,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
and Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Motion
Yes.
carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution assessing nuisance abatement lien against property for grass cutting for $251 on property at 991 Brown Circle in District 2. And this is Jeffrey D. Price is the last known owner. This resolution was tabled for 1 year on July 28, 2020 to allow the owner to make payments. However, no payments were received. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilman Cannon,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Tolles.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution assessing a nuisance abatement lien against property for grass cutting for $426 on property at 1501 Alabama Avenue in District 3. Latrice Wilson is the last known owner. This resolution was tabled 1 year on July 28, 2020 to allow the owner to make payments. One payment of $25 was received, making the balance $404. We'll need a motion to substitute a resolution assessing a lien in the amount of $401. Clerk, will you take the vote?
So move.
Second.
All righty, this is for the motion to substitute the amount, the resolution with the new amount.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Tolles,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
and Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Motion carries to substitute the resolution.
The chair
Move
will
for
not.
adoption.
Okay.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
All right, this is the vote is to adopt the substituted resolution. Councilman Cannon,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Tolles.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution assessing Newsome abatement lien against property for grass cutting for $426 on property at 1010 Penny Street in District 3. And this is Christina Y. Harris Luker in care of Christina Cox Ellis is the last known owner. This resolution was tabled for 1 year on July 28, 2020 to allow the owner to make payments. 3 payments totaling $90 were received, making the balance $336. We'll need a motion to substitute a resolution assessing the lien in the amount of $336.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Okay, this vote is to substitute the resolution with the lower amount. Councilwoman Toles,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
and Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Motion carries to substitute the resolution.
Now the chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution as a substitute.
So
So
move. Second.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the
Councilman
vote?
Cannon?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Councilman Cannon is a yes. Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Yes.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Toles?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the resolution as substituted.
Okay. Our next item, there's no council action that's necessary regarding 322 South 3rd Street in District 4 because the grass cutting cost has been paid by the owner. Our next ordinance authorizing conveyance of property located at 563 Lime Street. This ordinance was presented last week for first reading, and Stephen Isom has offered to pay $1,000 for the property. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So
Move to
moved.
adopt.
Second.
Okay. Clerk, will you take the vote? I believe the check is already in the vault.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Councilwoman Toles?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Cannon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the ordinance.
Our next resolution is to not grant incentives for Pilgrim Pride Industrial Development. This resolution was continued for an indefinite period on February the 2nd, 2021. We'll first need a motion to remove it from the table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilman Cannon?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Is this for clarification, is this just to remove it from the table?
To be voted on, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
This motion is to remove it from the table for consideration or amendment or whatever the council would choose to do afterwards with it.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Yes.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Toles?
Yes.
All right, the motion carries to remove the resolution from the table.
Madam President, I'd like to ask for consideration.
Second.
Is this to vote? Consideration to vote?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to
Okay.
call for a vote.
Okay. Did I get a second?
Okay, this is
Yes, ma'am. You got a second?
Councilman Cannon seconded. So this vote is to adopt the resolution. Councilwoman Toles,
No.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
and Councilman Cannon.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the resolution.
Okay. To our next item, to our attendees using Zoom. Our next two agenda items are public hearings to consider ordinances for rezoning property. And one of the options on your screen is a call raise hand. If you would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to a rezoning, then please click that button to raise your hand at the proper time and you will be allowed to speak. This is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of an ordinance rezoning property located at 107 and 109 Virgin Street from R1, one family residential district, to a B1 neighborhood business districts. The owners own and operate a daycare facility on the adjacent property located at 1223 Nakalula Road and request the rezoning in order to expand their facility. The existing rental house will be demolished and a new building will be constructed. Opposition was received from the immediately adjacent property owners who expressed concern about noise. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this ordinance? All right, I see a hand raised. Jen Wellington.
I don't see one of those, Dr.
Madam
Coles.
President,
Oh, okay, nobody's, okay. Well, that must have been mine. Okay, this, does anyone speak in favor? This ordinance was presented today for first reading and the council will vote on it next week. Our final public hearing is an ordinance rezoning property located at 627 Gadsden Avenue from R2 multiple family resident district to a B2 general business district. The owner requested the rezoning because a potential buyer wants to use the property as a contractor storage yard. Those who spoke in opposition voiced concern about the potential for large vehicles on a residential street, noise and safety issue. The Planning Commission unanimously recommended disapproval. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Does anyone wish to speak in favor?
I believe we have some opposition, Dr. Coles.
All right. Can you get, if you'll state your name? If you state your name and address, please.
Councilwoman Toles, who's here to speak in favor?
Oh, okay, all right.
Howard Gilbert, I live at 513 Riverside Drive, East Gadsden. And I'd like to thank y'all for inviting me back one more time to do this. I'd like to get this done if I could, because it would help me out in a lot more ways than one. I'll make y'all take you a short journey down that street. I know it's not a country club, and I know they know it's not. But you go down 16th Street, get to Gadsden Avenue, look to your right about another 100 yards. This fellow built a brand new home down there about 2 or 3 years ago. I kind of wondered why, but I didn't ask, with none of my business. But we'll take a left turn now and go down Gadsden Avenue. The first house there, it's got a double garage. It's about always full of junk, sometimes comes out on the street. Well, last summer, or this summer, a guy come out there and put a car on stands, pulled the motor out of it. I guess rebuilt the motor. I went back by and he's putting it in. I said, well, we ready to smell smoke? He said, well, I hope so. But something happened and he took the car down and all gone. So that, I don't know what happened there. But that's kind of neighborhood it is. It's not a country club, and I'm not trying to open up a hub out there. The trucks are coming. I'm knowing this one man, he wanted to put a trailer truck trailer out there to put his stuff in and have lock it up. Well, that would be good to me. Now we're going down a little further. That's Boyd Edison's house. Boyd lives there, got a nice place, inherited from his parents, and lived there, I guess, all of his life. Just a little further down the road, you've got a mobile home there, been sitting there for 20 years. Nobody's ever lived in it much. I go in there and know that. Well, it's sitting there. Well, the next lot's mine, and I'm gonna put a trailer just like it's across the street. There's already one across the street from my lot. And I'm gonna put one in there on mine where a man can use what he wants to. And I've got a chance to sell the property if y'all obey it, y'all okay it. Now let's go back up the street. That's where that trailer's sitting. He's got a house covered plumb up. I don't know whether the house is condemned or not. Trailer been sitting there for the last 3 or 4 years. I will go to the next one. It's for sale. Fine, nice house, enough to live in for me. Then we'll go a little further and get this house is not for sale. The next is vacant lot, and then you're out of that place. Now, if y'all can help me in that, I certainly appreciate it. If you can, I'll live with another till I die, I guess. I get cussed every time I go down that street, so I'll just do something else. I got a witness. You got to hear him talk.
All right. We thank you. I want to go back to, it says that the Planning Commission unanimously recommended disapproval. So is Miss Jennifer, is Miss Cody there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If she'll come and give us the information concerning the Planning Commission and their opposition.
Yes, ma'am, she will. We also have a person here that wants to speak in opposition.
Okay, all right, all right.
Do you want Miss Cody first or the person who wants to speak in opposition?
Let the person in opposition speak. I guess they didn't hear me when I called for that first.
Yes, ma'am. So if you'll get back to your seat and you want to speak in opposition, if you'll come forward. You both do? Okay. You can come forward. Councilwoman Toles, we have 2 people here to speak in opposition.
All right. Sir, if you'll give your name and address, please.
My name is Boyd Edson, E-I-D-S-O-N. I live on Gadsden Avenue. I live at 1617 Gadsden Avenue. I own the property at 1614 Gadsden Avenue. My boy owns the property at 1623 Gadsden Avenue. He's working, and I came up here to represent both of us. But we definitely oppose this. First of all, North 16th Street is a 24-foot street. It's never been any wider. It's curved. It's not a good road in and out. Then the woman that owns 5 pieces of property there, I don't know where she went to today, but she has not showed up today. But she very much opposes it. We beat this in the zoning committee. They voted 5 for us and 0 for him. And when we went through the zoning committee. But I would appreciate it greatly if you voted this down. every piece of property this man has ever owned is office message junk you've ever seen. He never keeps anything up. The property that he's wanting to sell is a fill-in, and it's got about approximately 40 feet at the back of it. But it is not, do not want anything of the way in a residential area because there's kids in the area. It's a good neighborhood, but we don't need any more nuisance than what we have from him. But he is an habitual liar now, and he always has been. But I'd appreciate anything you could do to keep from having it zoned for a business. We need to keep it residential. That's all we have there is residential. It's a good neighborhood. He says it's not the right neighborhood for any upkeep or any improvements. He says it's not the right neighborhood. So I'd appreciate you, anything you can do to keep from zoning it business. We do not want it business. Thank you.
All right. Is there someone else to speak in opposition?
Yes, ma'am. We got another man coming here. Thank you.
All right, sir, if you'll give your name and address, please.
My name is Bobby Mack. I live at 601 North 16th Street, which is 300 feet from this thing in question.
And what is your stance?
My stance, I'm opposed to all of it because I've been down here since '83, and I got 52 grandkids, that's great grandkids and all, and I raised a lot of them on this street, on their bikes and on their tricycles. Never had any traffic. Never had a whole lot of traffic, been quiet down there. I've been down there since '83. That's where we like to keep it. This man don't even live in the neighborhood and he wants to come down and rezone. Or sell it to somebody gonna build something on it that don't have no value, none of it. It's just something he wants to do. So
This doesn't have anything to do with the zoning. How many grandkids you said you had?
I got 52, that's great grands and all.
Oh, I thought I heard that number right. That's why I was asking. That's why I was asking.
I'm 82 years old. I'm older than I look, but I got that many grandkids. My oldest son is 62.
Wow. Well,
and, we got 3 or 4 other people that would be here today in opposition, but they got to work. They're not retired like this man.
All right.
Well,
I tell you, if we were given a prize today, you would get it.
What?
I said, if we were given a prize today, you would get it.
Well, I'm not looking for no prize. I want to keep the neighborhood back
I
here.
know.
I still got grandkids.
I know.
Well, I got to raise 5 sets of them.
All right. Well, thank you. I just wanted to be clear, but thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
All right. All right. Miss Cody, and then.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You have a question for me?
Yes, I just saw where it says the planning commission disapproved of it. Did you all have specific reasons or based on the opposition?
It was based on the opposition. There were probably 3 to 4 additional people at the planning commission meeting, and they all spoke in opposition. So their denial was based on the amount of opposition that there was to the request.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Are there any questions from the councilman?
Well, it's in District 3, and I've spoken with several of the people, and I would not be in favor of it either. So I'm asking the council not to approve it.
Well, this is
I'm sorry, there is another gentleman, I believe, who would like to speak in favor of the request, if you would entertain him.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sir, if you'll give your name and address, please.
It's Troy Roberts, 1272 Goodyear Avenue, East Gadsden. And what I'd like to say is I have known Mr. Gilbert 35 or better years. He's a businessman. He got stuck with this property he didn't even need. It ain't big enough to build on. It ain't building big enough to do nothing. It's a burden to him to have to keep up. It was growed up when he got it. And now he's got a gentleman that just wants to park an 18-wheeler trailer on it and use it to store stuff because he works out of town. And that's the only thing the property's good enough. It ain't even a quarter of an acre. And it ain't no good for nothing. But he's got a gentleman willing to buy it and not build no house, not put no house trailer on it, but put an 18-wheeler trailer, and they one right across the road from it right now that's been sitting there. So what would it hurt for a gentleman to get this Mr. Gilbert, get it off his hands, put a trailer and use it for storage? It ain't like it's gonna be a bunch of traffic. Ain't nobody gonna be living in it. It's just gonna be a storage. And I don't understand the deal with that. We want to right across the street from it right now.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Jennifer, is there anyone else? All right, this ordinance was presented today for the first reading, and the council will vote on it next week. Our next resolution is appointing and reappointing members to the Gadsden Airport Authority. And this reappoints Jonathan Welch and appoints Kenneth P. Robertson to replace Harry McClendon for the terms expiring July 31st, 2027. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilman Cannon,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Toles.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt.
That was our last resolution. Do we have any new business?
Yes, Madam President, I do have one item that I'd like to ask for consideration today under new business. It's an item, it's a resolution amending section 1 of resolution R-403-04 regarding steps in our pay plan. We ask for unanimous consent to consider today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is the vote to consider the resolution today as an item of new business. Councilwoman Toles,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Worthy,
Yes.
Councilman Back,
Yes.
Councilman Wilson,
No.
okay, at this point, we don't have unanimous consent for consideration today.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just to clarify to the fellow council members again, I received this document for the first time at 5:30 last night. I'm meeting with Ms. Rosser and the mayor to discuss the budget today at 3 o'clock. I'll be happy to go over it in detail then, and we can act expeditiously next week on it. I think this is a big deal. It affects multiple employees in the city on multiple levels, and I just want to make sure that I understand it completely. I think that's my fiduciary responsibility, and I don't feel like I understand it right now.
Okay.
Councilman Wilson, just, please don't miss the fact that this bumps our minimum wage for full-time employees up to 10:04. So, I mean,
Yes, sir. And again, I don't want this to be misconstrued as opposition. It's more administrative and procedural than anything. I feel like it's my responsibility as a city councilman to understand every single thing that I'm voting on. I've done this in the past, and I even asked Lee Roberts if my abstention would somehow allow you guys to move forward with it, to have a better understanding of it than I do. Again, in my gut, I didn't feel clear enough to say, yes, let's move forward with that. And I apologize for any inconvenience it's caused to anybody else.
All right, the next item that we have, it was presented last week, but we didn't get it on the agenda. And one of the reasons that it didn't get on the agenda is when I asked a question concerning a storm shelter in East Gadsden, and they were going to consider putting it as an amendment. And so we just kind of lost track of putting it on the agenda. So it needs to be brought up today, and it needs to be passed today. But this is adopting the 2021 Division F Phase 1, the Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. And this is from the EMA that was presented on last week. So I'm asking for immediate consideration of the Phase 1 Regional Hazard Plan for today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
This vote is to consider the resolution today as an item of new business. Councilman Cannon?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Yes.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
yes.
And Councilwoman Toles?
Yes. I move
Unanimous
for
consent has been granted.
I move for adoption.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Councilwoman Toles?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilman Worthy?
Yes.
Councilman Back?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Cannon?
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt.
Madam President,
Yes.
before we move on, could you explain or have Mike Rogers to explain how people can go on Zoom to ask the question during the public comment section when we when we was having those public hearings?
Sure, if I have Dr. Toll's permission to do that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, they have to do the same way they did before, is they have to make a request before Friday noon, and then their name will go on the agenda for a public comment.
No, I'm talking about doing a public hearing.
Oh.
Just doing a public hearing, how they do it when we doing Zoom.
Public hearings are a little bit different from getting on the agenda to speak, just because to address the council, normally you do have to make a request for Friday at noon in order to get on the agenda. However, during public hearings, we allow people to, just show up to the council. Well, that's a little bit different for Zoom. So if we have a public hearing and you wish to speak at the public hearing, the process for that is that we will post a link under the news section of our city website to allow people to attend the Zoom portion of the meeting, because there's sort of a twofold thing happening. We have the council that is meeting via Zoom, and we're also broadcasting that via Facebook. So to interact directly with the council and the Zoom meeting, you need to be in the Zoom meeting. So when that link is posted under the news section of our website, you can register to attend the Zoom meeting as an attendee. So there are sections of the meeting where Dr. Toll says anyone who wishes to speak in favor or against. And when that happens, if there is an attendee who wishes to speak, then I, as the host, can promote them and allow them to speak and direct y'all, to address y'all directly in the meeting. That's the best way we found to handle this, to get the public to interact with y'all during public meetings. We understand, that there was short notice this week, and also we try to accommodate people who may have trouble accessing Zoom. In this case, we were able to set up a station downstairs for people to simply come in. And so if there are difficulties in that way, we want to make sure that people can be heard, and we'll do what we can to accommodate it so that, during the public hearing, we can hear that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
They just have to be on Zoom, to ask the question.
Correct. That's the easiest way, just because it allows us to display them kind of like y'all are, indirectly, just because, you can't interact via Facebook with y'all. If somebody speaks or comments on Facebook, then there's no way for y'all to hear that. Just,
Right.
They need to be in the Zoom meeting.
Is there a limit also on the Zoom?
As far as attendees and registrations, I would have to check. It's certainly more than 100 as far as attendees. But, I would also point out that what you get by being in the Zoom meeting is what we are broadcasting via Facebook. Every action that is taken gets broadcast to Facebook. There's nothing happening in Zoom that you do not see if you're at Facebook. It's just that, if you want to address the council, or if there's some reason like that, or if you want to attend, register and come on. But it just seems like a little extra trouble unless you have a comment that you specifically want to address during a public hearing, or if you are on the agenda to speak.
All right. It's time for mayor council comments. Councilman Back.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Just want to continue to encourage people to contact your doctor, your physician, and your pharmacist if you have not been vaccinated, and just get their opinion on what you should do. As you've heard earlier today, our positivity rates are very high at our hospitals. Hospitals all over are full. The CCU, ICU rooms are full, and predominantly they're full of people that are not vaccinated. So think twice about your vaccination if you haven't had one. It's not for everybody, I understand that, but talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist, and make the best decision for yourself. Also want to continue to reach out and to remember Barbara Reed. It's just difficult to think that just a few weeks ago she was with us and now she's not. And thoughts and prayers are with Ben and his two sons and their families as they deal with, kind of the unexpected passing of their wife and their mom and their grandmother. It's all these things are hitting so close. I had a very, very close friend at my church pass away this week that we're all just heartbroken. And her husband's in the hospital, not doing well. It's just a tough time. This is a difficult time for a lot of people. So try to do your research, be smart, be safe, and think of others. This is a time when we really need to think of others and maybe not ourselves quite so much. So just want to stress that, and want to continue to pray for those that have lost loved ones. I know we had a city employee that passed away just a day or two ago also, and I know that family, and my thoughts and prayers are with them. And it's just hitting real close. I mean, I know so many people that are in serious condition in the hospital right this very moment, and then others that are pretty sick at home. And it's different than it was a year ago. It's just a different deal. So we need to be real careful with how we go about our daily life and daily business. So that's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Cannon.
Thank you, Madam President. Our thoughts and prayers do go to Councilman Reed and his two boys. I was sitting last night thinking about Barbara, and I've known him for about 51 years now, maybe 52 years. And she'd always, every time I'd see her, she'd always ask about how I was feeling. Then when I got married and I ran into her all the time, she wondered how Atlanta was, my wife was doing. She was a caring person, and she was loved by many in this city. She cared for this city. She was just an asset to this city. She was always a cheerleader for this city and telling everybody about the city. Now I'd like to tell y'all that I've been really sick and tired and sick of this COVID thing that we're in now. I want it to go away. And I also want this rendering plant mess to go away. We've been in both of these way, way, way too long. I'm ready for both of them to end. I'm thankful today that my council members decided to vote yes to not give Pilgrim's Pride the incentive. Maybe that's the first step in some folks getting ready to really realize what it would cost this city and this county, not only our city, but cost us everywhere around here. And I just hope and pray that both of these, the COVID and this rendering plan, are gone before long. Thank you.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, again, I'd like to echo the sentiments that have been made regarding, you know, just some of the tragedy and death that we're experiencing. My prayers and thoughts go out to Councilman Reed and his family, as well as some of the city employees that have experienced bereavement events through all of this. And of course, as it's been pointed out numerous times, our hospitals are at or nearing capacity, and our positivity rates. One of the things that really stands out for me is the positivity rates for children are expressly high now, and if that doesn't tug on your heartstrings and make you want to rethink some of these very personal and political oppositions to just taking action to protect yourselves, I don't think anything will. So again, I started last week pleading with people, and I'll continue to plead with you. Please take precautions, whatever that means for you. I'm not trying to tell you a vaccine, even though I believe that they work. My doctors recommend them. My doctors have taken them. And so again, I think that they are a move in the right direction. But if protection means something else to you, wearing a mask, social distancing, whatever it means, take some level of precautions to protect you, protect our children, and protect those around us that are vulnerable to this very, very deadly disease. The only other thing that I have is I do apologize to the council, and I definitely apologize to the city clerk. My vote on the rendering resolution was intended to be a no vote. So Ms. Ivis, if it's not too late to correct the record should reflect 4 yeses and 2 nos. At this point, again, I just feel that it's we don't have anything formal for us to consider, and so I'd like to definitely wait and cast my formal vote when we have something formal to consider. But at this point, as has been pointed out on people on both the prevailing side and the failing side of this issue, it really doesn't amount to much, and so that's what my no vote is rooted in. Thank you.
Councilman Worthy. You're muted.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to echo what everybody else is saying about Councilman Reed. I'm praying for his family, and not just his family, but the friends also. So if anything we can do, please let us know. And also for all the bereaved families in the city, because this is a terrible thing. And people got to realize and quit politicizing it. It's not red or blue. It's common sense. Wear your mask. Get the shots. You know, they work. Out of all the people that's in the hospital, it's a very low number of people that have both shots that's in the hospital are passing due to underlying conditions. It works, but you just have to come to that conclusion on your own. Also, I want to thank everybody, the Career Center and the Chamber of Commerce, Heather New, for helping with the job fair. We had a low number of attendees, but we had 117 people, job seekers, to come. So I was a little down about that at first, but after talking with the Secretary of Labor, he was there. He said that the numbers been way down all over the state. So that made me feel a little better. So we got over 100 people, and we had 74 employers there. So that's let you know it's jobs here in the city of Gadsden and in this county. People just need to go get a job if you don't have one. And then I want to talk about some people called me and said I stormed out of the council meeting last week. That was not true. I just left to go back to the job fair. You know, the job fair started that morning at 8 o'clock with the employability skills seminar. So I was just leaving to go to there, but I did say I was a little upset. And let me tell you what I was a little upset about. Every year we run, when we have the job fair, we run a commercial. And this, for some reason this year, they didn't run the commercial. And I think the city, the county, and hopefully the state is tired of dirty politics. We should be tired of dirty politics. And if you say you want to be the mayor of this city and you're running and you're going to have an assistant mayor already picked out, and he's in charge of Spectrum up there and didn't run the TV commercial for political reasons, that's wrong. You know, and we would have paid to run it, because it's not for us, it's not for me, it's not for whoever was on the commercial, it's for the people of the city of Gadsden and the surrounding area to get the word out, because we had people to call afterwards and didn't know about the job fair that would have attended. So that's why we do that. And whatever it costs, we would have gave you the money. So just people think about that. And I'm sick and tired of dirty politics. It ain't about you, it's about the people. And that's what we have to learn to be about the people and helping the people in this community. And I want to say I'm happy that the resolution passed to not to give the incentives to the Pilgrim Pride, because it's so much better. And I was the only one spoke, and I'll probably get some blowback from that over at the venue in opposition to the rendering plan. But I also attended last Friday when the community gave what they want to do at the airport. And it's a lot more jobs. It's over 300 jobs. And that's a better fit for our community than the rendering plan. And if you don't know, we had a spill from one of the trucks going from the Cook's plant here in my district, in District 3, about a month or so ago, right there at 11th and Milligan. It took our fire department, it was a small spill, but it took our fire department over 4 hours to clean that spill up. So that, just imagine if it was a big spill. So we have to look at all of that. So thank you, Madam President. Oh, I got one more announcement. Got an announcement. If I can find it right quick. Okay, Drake Patrick, 21 Kids Foundation, they will be providing a free cooked meal to the homeless community on September the 12th at 12 p.m. at the LA Community Center. They will provide free safety packages. They also provide travel size items like Lysol disinfectant spray, wipes, hand sanitizers, and masks for each individual. The first 20 individuals vaccinated will receive a gift card to Jack's or McDonald's. So they will also be giving a vaccine if people want to take it. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Wilson, before I see, Ms. Nelson's hand up. So Ms. Alva, did you want to say something?
Yes, Madam President. Councilman Williams had indicated that he intended a different vote. So I was looking at the council rules. Let me see if I can find it again. It says before announcing the results of the vote, the president shall give any council member the right to change his vote. The vote of each member shall be recorded unless the vote is unanimous. I was going to advise Councilman Williams that it's my feeling that he would need to make a motion to reconsider and redo the vote, if that's his desire. But I don't know if the city attorney would agree with me or not, but from reading the rules, that was what it looked like to me. So I just wanted to point that out.
I agree.
Okay, Lee Roberts is in the room. He said he agreed as well.
I don't see Councilman William. We'll go to remarks from Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not maybe as eloquent with my words about Barbara Reed as some of you have, and I certainly haven't known her as long as most of you have, but I consider Ben Reed a friend, and we don't talk about this a lot, but man, my heart is breaking for you. And I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this. And that's all I'll say. I know that she'll be missed by a lot of people, and my heart hurts for you. Moving on, nothing really to add other than to say again, I apologize if there was any sort of confusion over my no vote on the pay raise. I just don't understand it. It's a pretty complex thing, and I just need a little bit to consider it. As far as the rendering plan, I just appreciate this council giving me the opportunity to have a vote on the resolution that I introduced back in February. I understand that there are valid reasons why people say this isn't, this resolution doesn't mean anything. And again, I'll just go back and say, we have passed non-binding resolutions in the past that sent dramatic messages to this community, So to imply that this vehicle is worthless or somehow without teeth to pass a non-binding resolution, I think is disingenuous and short memory on behalf of anybody that makes that argument. I understand why we don't want to do it here, or some people didn't. I just appreciate this council giving it due consideration. And I look forward to the process moving forward as it's been laid out. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to add. I will say this: thank you very much to all the volunteers that showed up on Sunday to help clean up at Forest Cemetery and Southern Hills Cemetery. Your volunteerism and philanthropy is greatly appreciated, even though it probably won't be recognized by most people. I appreciate you. So thank you, Madam President. That's all I have.
Mayor, do you have any comments?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I'd like to say, in looking, I used to be in the real estate business and the appraisal business, worked with the banks, several different companies. And I know the budget this year was really tough, but I can tell you from all the people I've been around who did budgets, Lisa Rosser is the top of the line because it's very complicated. And the work she did on that budget, I think when all the employees start getting their checks, they're going to be well pleased. So I want to tell her what a good job she does year in and year out. She always has the facts. Thank you.
All right. I have an announcement. Due to the Labor Day holiday, next Monday's garbage route will be collected on Tuesday, and Tuesday's route will be collected on Wednesdays. And Thursday and Friday's routes will not change. So just remember, the Monday's route will be collected on Tuesday, and the Tuesday's route will be collected on a Wednesday. If there's nothing else, then I call for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, the meeting is adjourned.